Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
We just got to be smart and get this wisdom from God, because we got to navigate this society. That's why Christ said, be harmless as a dove, but wise as a serpent. We got to get this information and know how to move in this society. Right. Read on.
Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16. Bring it out. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
So he's talking to those pastors. Anybody that misused this Bible, like, what do you have to do with me? Because although God created them, he made a difference between us and everybody else. Right. Matter of fact, let's get that in 2 Ezra 6. So what he's explaining is, what the officer went over earlier, you see this image right here? We was packed up. Once we got over here, they took our language. They took our monetary system, our military. They took all this stuff from us. Even the Arabs, you see this sign that says Arab, white, African? So some of our brothers that believe that they're so-called Muslims, they don't understand the same thing as Christianity. All of these are slave religions. They're all slave religions. Which one of these do you subscribe to? Turning it around. Which one of those are y'all familiar with? Did either of you grow up in the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church, Episcopalian, any of those?
I grew up in the Baptist Church, but I stopped dealing with religion a long time ago.
Oh, I'm glad. But again, who are these? The wicked.
Right.
That declare God's statutes, but he don't do it right. If you run Georgia, and you the queen of Georgia, you're going to run Georgia the way you want to run it. That's what they did. They run the earth the way they want to run it. Now you got to have subjects. You got to have people under you. And that's what we are right now. Right. We can turn this back around. Let's read that.
2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
So when you read in this chapter, it goes into the creation. God created the moon, the stars, the planet. He created all of the foliage we see, the animals. He said, after that, I created Adam. So going back to what you said about he made man in our image, that's very heavy. But you have to know how to read the Bible, and we have to be taught by righteous men.
Right.
We're not taught by the pastors, because why? They're the wicked.
Right.
So after Adam was created, let's see what happened.
Of him come we all.
Now who's we? Every nation. The Bible records 18 altogether. Whether you have so-called Chinese, Japanese, African, white, East Indian, and us, the Israelites. There's 18 different groups. We make up one, and we're 12 tribes out of that one nation of Israel. Right. So he said after Adam, he made all of these people that come from Adam. Go ahead.
And the people also.
Hold up. He made people from Adam and another group of people. Which group of people is this?
Whom thou hast chosen.
Whom thou hast chosen. God chose a certain group of people. That's why the sign is right here. That's why the Israelites have to come into the ghettos and the hoods all over the world. Not just in Georgia. We got to go to Africa. We got to go to Asia. We got to go to Europe. We got to go everywhere. You see that slave boat? Everywhere they took us, it's our responsibility to go back there and get our people and let them know they've been lied to.
That's right.
You don't want to be lied to. You don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be lied to. So we need to know what? The truth. According to the Bible. Read that.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
It's given into the hand of the wicked, but it was made for us. It was made for our sakes. But we don't know that. Because the CNN, the MSNBC, the whole programming, that system is not for us, so it's going to be reported and told how they want. That educational system ain't for us. It's going to be taught how they want it to be taught. Read on.
As for the other people.
So we were chosen. Now what's up with these other people? Let's see what God thinks about them.
Which also come of Adam. Thou hast said,
God has said. When the Israelites come out and speak and preach, we're using the words of the Bible and we're explaining them. So God said something about these people. Let's see what he said.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
How you feel about that? Drop everything else, whole lot. Get Isaiah 55 and 8. How do you feel about that? That God said all them other nations except the Israelites, they're nothing.
That's right.
How you feel?
We are chosen ones.
We are chosen. So we just read that we're the chosen ones. That the Israelites, according to God, are the chosen people.
Right.
So you hear this term racism in the world? Do y'all believe in racism? Young man, young lady? You ever heard the term racism?
Yeah.
You heard that term before? So he said the other people are nothing. How do you feel about that?
Not right.
So should we all be the same? So what you're thinking right now, how did it get programmed into you? Was it your parents? Was it your pastor? Was it the television? Was it the radio? Was it the magazine? Was it the school system? This is why the term born again has to be put in its proper context. We have to be retaught.
Right.
As we were little kids, that's what Christ said.
Right.
Suffer the little children. We have to come back as the children of Israel and be retaught because we were programmed by the wicked.
That's right.
So he said they're nothing. So let's see what the prophet Isaiah says about God's way of thinking compared to our way of thinking. Let's read.
Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts.
That's what our people really need to understand. Because now we come to a place in society in this year, 2021, with all of the technology, everything that's going on, we live in our lives. But according to what? Our people are not living according to the Bible. They're living according to a blunt. They're living according to weed, or their lust to have sex with multiple women, or to abort their babies, or not to eat the right foods. There's so many things that we have to do to live right according to the Bible that our people don't know why, because it's happened to us. As y'all look at this sign, why did they not teach you this in school? Because the people that control this planet, the wicked, they got to stay in their power and authority. They can't have all of us up there with them. They need somebody to put their neck on so they can't breathe. They need somebody with a hoodie and Skittles in his pocket to shoot them down. As an example to the rest of us, just like the Taskmaster did. You see his back? Yeah. Imagine that's your father back and he come back with whips on his back. Now that's gonna make you effeminate and you ain't gonna stand up and buck up. You may and get killed, tarred and feathered or what have you, but they wanna control us every way they can. Whether it's the police department, again, the school system, the television. So that's why the Israelites gotta come to bring the truth of the Bible, that you need to know who you are. You need to know who the wicked is that did all this stuff to us, that changed everything around. Let's read that.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord.
So the way we do things is not according to God. How many of y'all about to celebrate Halloween, Colossians 2 and 8? Do y'all celebrate that?
No.
What holidays do you celebrate?
Really, all of them.
Like Christmas, maybe? Would you go to a let's say a baby shower? What you do on your birthday?
Stay home.
Stay home?
Yeah.
Do people call you, give you gifts, anything like that?
No.
Nah? Why not? You just be on your own like that, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right. So what do y'all do on Easter, man? What you do on Easter?
I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Halloween. I don't celebrate Christmas.
That's interesting. Why not?
Because I just don't. I don't feel the need to. I don't feel like it's something I need to do. I mean, I don't need to spend money on gifts for children for Christmas. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they know. I just told them I don't do this. I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving. You know, if I'm gonna celebrate Thanksgiving, it's gonna be on the day that I choose to celebrate. But I want to give thanks.
That's interesting.
For whatever I'm, you know.
Okay. Young lady, excuse me, young lady. Where are you from?
Here.
What's your nationality?
African American.
African American. What about you?
I don't know.
Okay, from your father's line is how we determine nationality. Did you know that?
We got to go
Did you know that? Hopefully you check out the flyer. They went over some stuff with you. Yeah. We have a YouTube site and we have a school that's not far. The address is there for you to come. Okay. All right? So your nationality is determined by your father. Are you saying you're maybe so-called African American as well?
I don't.
What about yourself?
Well, yeah, I feel about it. When they say African American, I wasn't born in Africa, I was born here.
No, I'm just using that as a frame of mind. It looks like y'all all from the same place. Y'all either be called Negroes, Blacks, African Americans, Afro Americans, whatever. Anything different?
I don't mind it.
That's all the tribe of Judah. King David was from the tribe of Judah. King Solomon. Christ himself is from the tribe of Judah. So knowing these things will have pride about you that's different from not knowing who you are. That's another reason why the people, the wicked that took this earth, they have to take away and strip our name. You see this right here? Not only our backs was whipped, our brains were whipped, our spirit was whipped. They took away so much stuff from us and we had to use their stuff. Think about your last name. I challenge you to take out your phone and Google the origin of Jackson, McIntosh, Rodriguez. Where's it from? It's not from Jerusalem, from Israel, where we're from. Those are the us. So the Bible told us to be careful unless there's a particular person that's going to spoil you. This is being spoiled right here. For our so-called Native American and Hispanic brothers and sisters, they were spoiled too. And this happened before that happened. The late 1400s with that demon Christopher Columbus and them conquistadors. And this happened around the 1600s. But we all were spoiled the same way. They were taken off the reservation down here in Georgia and walked all the way to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears, all the southeast of America. They gave them different names and put them in schools and put them in suits because we were spoiled. Let's read on.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy.
Birthdays is a philosophy. Halloween is a philosophy. Christmas is a philosophy. Mother's Day, you know why? If you look up on your phone the origins of Mother's Day, any holiday you want, you'll be like, whoa. I challenge you to do that. Look up your last name's history, your origin. All of these holidays that America celebrates, do you know how many high holy days are in the Bible? Like Passover. You ever heard of Passover? Yeah. We have Feast of Dedication. Today is the Sabbath day. These are the things that we're not taught. Now, how many of y'all ever went to church? But why they don't teach us these things in church? So Seventh-day Adventists, they at least got one thing right, that they know today is the day that you're supposed to go to church. I'm going to turn that back around again. So let me ask, you know who Ellen G. White is? Look at this side, Ellen G. White. Now the prophets, are they men or women? Well, the Bible tells us, we're going to finish this because that's a part of Colossians 2:8, and then we're going to go to Amos 2:11. Let's read.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Vain lies.
After the tradition of men.
These are all traditions of men. Halloween is a tradition of men. Christmas, Thanksgiving, these are traditions of which man? That same wicked man that we were talking about. All of the holidays that we celebrate, these are the things that this establishment put up for us to follow along, spend our money, boost the economy, stay in ignorance. So Ellen G. White, do you think she had slaves? What's that, 1608? 1863. That was Baptist. In 1863, before the Emancipation Proclamation, you think she had slaves? It's possible. That's something we can research. What about the rest of them? You think any of these people had slaves? Like Abraham Lincoln, you think he had slaves? What you think?
I don't think so.
I gotta tell you, you're mistaken.
That's right.
You gotta do your research. These people are wicked.
Right.
Yo, did the Ku Klux Klan not burn crosses?
Right.
Were they not Christians?
Right.
Hold up. The Ku Klux Klan, let me see, Baptist, Mormon, I know they had to be one of these Christians.
Right.
These are some wicked people, as we've been talking about. Whether it's Seventh-day Adventists, Episcopalian Baptists, they all are philosophies and traditions of men.
Right.
The same way all of these wicked holidays are. That's why the Israelites have to come out here and challenge people's minds and say, let me think twice about what I was taught. Because the system that taught me, even if, I don't know how many of your teachers growing up, whether it be college, high school, I don't know how many look like us versus how many look like them. But it's all a part of the same wicked system. If I work for a job, I got a boss and he tell me this is what you gotta do, that's what I gotta do.
Right.
That's the system we in. Let's read.
After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ.
The whole point is it's not after Christ. Let's go to that. Amos 2. So going back to the prophets, everything Christ said, he said, I'm the truth, the way, and the life. If you love me, keep his commandments. So how many people say they love God or Christ? How many of y'all? You do? What about you? You look like you're not sure. With you in the shade, the sun was hitting you too much? Your father on the slave plantation, he had to stay in that sun for about 20 hours a day.
Bring it out.
You know what I'm saying? That's what these wicked people did to you. I understand though. I'm just putting something in your mind to think about. How you know you're an Israelite? Because the Bible talks about all of these curses happening to one group of people.
That's right.
That's what the Bible's message is. This one group of people got to come back and do what God says for what? The chance to live forever.
That's right.
When you in your hood and you smell marijuana, you smell urine, you got to watch your back. You don't know if somebody want to rob you or shoot you.
Yeah.
When you got sisters that's mad at you, talking about you, gossiping, this ain't living right here. This ain't living. Your car break down, you ain't on a martyr. This is not living. But the kingdom of heaven is things we can't even imagine. But to get there, we got to do what he say. We can't eat things like pork. All right, I'll give that up. I got to grow my beard. All right, I could do that. I can't bald my head. All right, I'll get used to it. These are the things that will take us out of this physically, mentally, and spiritually to get back to him.
Right.
Read on.
Amos chapter 2 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
And I raised up your sons for prophets and your young men for Nazarites. It is not even thus, O ye children of Israel.
So the Bible tells us through the prophet Amos that the children of Israel, we are the prophets. So you ever heard a Muslim say that Muhammad was a prophet?
Right.
You ever heard that? So the Bible is the foundation. Y'all check out the flyer. We got a website. We got the school address. Before you go, what do you believe in? Are you believe in God or anything like that? Who your daddy? You heard? God, what do you say to do? You heard? Deuteronomy 10 and 12. What do you say to do? Your dad, what your daddy say to do? We're going to read it for you right now. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel.
Who Israel? That's you. If you're from the line of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're an Israelite.
That's right.
What did you call yourself before I said that? Like black, African American, like your hoodie. So that was a condition. That's one of the things we out here to tell our people. They got to rethink what their nationality is, because the kingdom of heaven, if you read Revelations, it tell you there's names on the 12 gates of heaven.
Right.
So if you go in as a black man, you ain't gonna see that. Yo, where black at? They ain't gonna be there. Read.
And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments.
Revelation 21:12. So that's what your daddy said to do. Now one last thing. If you got to keep the commandments, not as a black man, right? I want to prove what I said. We got to talk about the kingdom of heaven. You get a reward for that. If you do what he said, you get a reward. But you got to know that you're an Israelite. All right, watch this. Read.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels.
Now we shortcutting this because I see you trying to run. We shortcutting it to let you know this whole chapter is talking about the kingdom of heaven, how glorious it is, how we not even gonna need the sun no more because of the magnificence of the light, the crystal, the gold, the diamonds, the sapphire, the chrysoprasy, all types of precious stuff going on. But we focusing on you knowing you're an Israelite because there's names written on those 12 gates. Right. Read.
Which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Numbers 1 and 1. So that's why it's important for you to know you're an Israelite and for you to know you got to keep his commandments, because we don't want our people to die. And the death God got prepared for people that's not listening, it ain't this mortal death, bang, bang, you die, or you wither away from cancer or diabetes. It ain't that. It's a spiritual death where your death continues over and over and over forever. Read.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 1.
So this is how you can determine your nationality, how you can prove that you are Israelite. Now, one part of it is these curses that were upon us, this only happened to our group of people. You could drop everything else. This only happened to us. Now, how do you determine your nationality so we can stop calling ourselves these things that we talked about? Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation.
So the congregation were the Hebrews. Who was Moses? Moses, if he was alive today, they would call him a Haitian, disrespectfully. We got to start understanding that these names are disrespectful if they didn't come from God. So Moses, Aaron, Miriam, they would be called Haitian, Ezra. But he was a priest. He came down with the laws, the commandments, the statutes for Israel. For the Hebrews at that time, they were called. Remember Pharaoh, let my people go? So that was Moses. So he's assembling the congregation of us after what? After we left from Egypt. Hold up. Ain't Egyptians Africans? Why we calling ourselves that? Just like Daniel was in the lion's den with some people that was also Africans. Nebuchadnezzar and them. Those are the Ethiopians. In the Bible, you see Babylonians. This is why it's important for us to know who we are. And it's going to tell us how we determine that. So the congregation is Israel.
Verse 18. Verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation.
Let's organize all of the people. Let's see how many here, how many here, how many here. Now the wicked, America, they do what's called the census. Right. They send something to you. How many people in your household? Do you identify as black, Hispanic, non-white? All of this nonsense. So that's what we're doing. According to what the Bible said, we're organizing, and it's according to who we are. Read.
Of the children of Israel.
All through the Bible, of the children of Israel, of the children, all through the Bible. So going back to what the sister was talking about, of course a lot of times our people don't understand that because we were taught the Bible incorrectly. That's why the Israelites got to come out here and tell people what the truth is. Right. Read on.
After their families, by the house of their fathers.
So by our families, the house of your father determines your line. So King Solomon was from the house of David. That was his father. So if we keep going back to Jesse and wherever back, it's going to go back to Judah. So whatever your father is, because in America what they say, I'm 1/4 Irish, I'm 1/2 Puerto Rican, I'm another quarter black. That's not how God deals with it. It's not a bunch of ingredients you mix together. The seed comes from the man, and that determines your nationality. Right. Let's get more on that with verse 18.
Verse 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from the 20 years old and upward by their poll.
So our pedigree is our lineage, our nationality. Now I got a question for you since you've been here for a little while. How long would it take you to start keeping certain commandments? Leviticus 21 and 5.
I have no idea.
I use myself as an example of some of the things that you're supposed to do. So for example, you notice all the brothers have different beards. Depending on how they grow, depending on what job you have, you might have to trim it low, what have you. How long would it take for you to start keeping that law? Yes, sir. About a week. Okay, read.
Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head.
Let's get Leviticus 18 and 1. It said they. So we just read after when Moses came and took the laws, statutes, and commandments from God from Mount Sinai and delivered it to us. Again, meaning we had the laws already. Noah knew what the laws was. Adam knew what the laws was. So over time, we always have prophets come back again and again and tell our people, because we hard-headed. The Bible calls us stiff-necked and rebellious. So he's telling us we have to not shave our heads, and then he's going to get to the beard. But there's a reason for that. You see this sign right here? How come most of the time you see pictures of us in slavery, we have no hair on our bodies? Why did the wicked do that to us? Yes, because this is our strength. That's an excellent answer, and it goes so deep. Same way they took our ability to speak Hebrew, our language. Everything they took from us to take that strength from us, so now we to be dependent on them. When Master's son's birthday come and he get a new pair of shoes, now your son get the hand-me-down shoes. So these are hand-me-downs. All the scraps from Master's table, your house, your apartment, God said his father's house is many mansions, way bigger than any mansion you see, but there's scraps off the Master's table. Not our proper master, our slave master. But
while Heron was pushed, but at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.